Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon, my dear students of grade 11. Wherever you are, I wish you are enjoying your time and enjoying good health. Today we are going to start with Module 4. The first lesson on Module 4 is on your students' book, pages 54 and 55. So kindly open your box before we start. Open your students' book to page 54 and 55. This is Traveler 4, Module 4, and the first lesson, of course, is reading. The title of Module 4, as you see, or as you can see, Human Nature. The first lesson, which is a reading lesson, that's page 54. We will start directly with the reading. Look at the pictures. What do you think happened to those people or to these people? Read and check your answers. Share your most embarrassing moments. Shades of shame. Blushing rose. Beetroot red. Bag over your head. And hide under the table. The K word here, as you can see, is embarrassing. If we say that something is embarrassing, this means that it's causing some kind of confusion. When you do something accidentally and you do not expect the results of what you have done, you feel embarrassed. So embarrassing means causing confusion. Let's see what some people had written about these embarrassing situations. I don't know why embarrassing things keep happening to me. Just the other day, I was walking down the street with my friends from college when I ran into my history professor. So the first K expression here is run into. It's a phrasal verb, run into. Run into means when you meet somebody accidentally in the street or wherever or anywhere, you can say that I ran into my history professor, for example. When I ran into my history professor, I decided to say hello, so I looked at him with a big grin. A big grin means a big smile on my face, and walked towards him. He didn't seem to recognize me, so as he was walking past me, I called his name. The professor finally turned around, but had an alarmed look, as if something was about to go terribly wrong. Then suddenly I felt like someone had hit me in the face with a brick. I was shocked for a moment, and then I realized I had walked into a lamppost. The professor tried not to laugh, but my friends burst laughing. If I had known things would turn out this way, I would have stayed home. I had totally made a fool of myself. This is something, of course, very embarrassing if you are walking in the street and you run. And you walk into a lamppost. You know the lamppost, yes. If you walk into a lamppost, that's of course very embarrassing. So he is feeling some kind of shame or confusion. He is wishing, he is making a wish saying, I would have, or if I had known things would turn out this way, I would have stayed at home. If I know that this would happen, I wouldn't have come out. I had totally made a fool of myself. This is a good expression also when you make something wrong and you feel ashamed or you feel embarrassed or you feel confused. You say, I had totally made a fool of myself. This is the first passage. Now let's move to the next passage. And let's focus on some important keywords and expressions. I thought it would be a normal school day, just like all the rest. But it sure wasn't. I was late. So I ran all the way to school. I sat down. I noticed a very unpleasant smell. Soon enough, the other students went hysterical, asking each other where it was coming from. The teacher was getting annoyed because he hates interruptions. The smell seemed to be getting worse. It seemed to be coming from under my desk, where my bag was. So I opened the bag, and to my horror, I realized what it was. You see, about a week before, my mom had made me a cheese sandwich, which I had forgotten all about. The only solution was to get rid of it. Get rid of it. Fast. So, as my teacher turned his back to write something on the board, I slowly took the sandwich out of my bag, making an effort not to be noticed. However, one of the boys saw me and ruined everything. He destroyed my plan, as he couldn't help telling everyone, "Daryl's the one. He's got a smelly sandwich." Everyone looked at me, of course, and I started laughing. They made fun of me weeks afterwards, which drove me up the wall. This is another embarrassing situation which happened to one student when he took a smelly sandwich with him in the bag without knowing, and he tried to get rid of the smelly sandwich, but one of the boys saw him and told everybody, and of course the other boys made fun of him. To make fun of somebody is to make other people laugh at him or what he do. We have some important expressions here, like the word or like the expression went hysterical. To go hysterical means to go crazy, asking about something. Another expression we have here is make an effort. If you try to do something, you make an effort. Make an effort not to be noticed. He tried hard not to be noticed. Another expression is couldn't help, and that's very important. The expression is can't help, and in the past we say couldn't help. If you can't help doing something, and as you see, it's followed by a gerund, an ing form. If you can't help something, you can't stop yourself doing something. For example, if I can't help laughing, I can't stop laughing. So when the boy saw him taking the sandwich out of the bag, he couldn't help telling everyone. And the last expression here drove me up the wall. If somebody is annoying you and making something that is annoying or bothering you too much, you say, he drove me up the wall. He drove me up the wall. These are the important expressions here. Go or went hysterical, making an effort, couldn't help, drove me up the wall. Let's move to the last part of the reading. This is another story, of course. I was over at a friend's house and we were having a great time. Then some of the boys started telling scary stories. As one of my friends stood in the middle of the room with the lights off, telling his story. Somebody is telling a scary story. I thought it was time for me to play one of my jokes on them. Play one of my jokes on them. If you play a joke on somebody, you try to make fun with your friends, something like that. I found a torch in the kitchen. A torch is something that you use to get light in the dark. I found a torch in the kitchen and I went outside using the back door so that nobody would see me. My plan was to get in through the living room window holding the torch and pretending to be a burglar. Pretending, the verb pretend. That I thought I would definitely scare everybody. So he is trying to make or to play a joke on his friends. He tried to pretend that he is a burglar who would come through the window holding a torch while it was dark, of course. But as I was climbing in through the window, I fell down and landed on a cactus. I fell down and landed on a cactus. Cactus is a kind of plant, you know, of course. David, one of my friends, turned on the lights and everyone went outside to see what was going on. There was a moment of silence and then everybody started laughing. His friends are laughing at him. At first I just wanted the ground to open and swallow me up. But then I started laughing too. So if you feel very ashamed or very confused, if you did something very embarrassing, you want the ground to open and swallow you up. So when his friends discovered what had happened, he says, I just wanted the ground to open and swallow me up. But I then started laughing too. So these are, as you see, these are some of the situations, the embarrassing situations which happened to 3 of them. Read the text again and write R for Robbie, the first one, J for James, the second one, and D for Daryl for the statements below. It took me a while to realize what had happened. This is R. Robbie. I was trying to get someone's attention. Yes, the first one. Robbie. I enjoyed what happened as much as the others. Yeah, the one who laughed with his friends. He laughed at himself, actually. James. I wanted to throw something away. You remember the sandwich? The smelly sandwich, yes. That's D for Daryl. I was annoyed by the way the others reacted. This is Daryl also, the one with a smelly sandwich. I was trying to do something funny when the accident happened. Yes, James. Now let's move to the important part of this lesson, the vocabulary section. Exercise C, match the highlighted words. The highlighted words are the most important vocabularies you have to focus on in the reading passage. Words and phrases, of course. And the text with their meanings, A to H. There are 2 extra meanings which you do not need to use. So we have 6 expressions or words here, and we have 8 meanings here. That means that we have 2 extra. Run into. If you meet somebody accidentally, you are not planning to meet him. This is run into, which means meet by chance. Pretend you try to make or to act like as if you are someone else or something else. So I pretended to be a doctor, I pretend to be a burglar. Pretend means to behave as if. For example, if you are not a doctor, but you are just pretending to be a doctor, this is some kind of pretending. Yes. Behave as if. Go hysterical. Go hysterical means, exactly, yes, if you go hysterical means that you go crazy about something. Make an effort. Yes, sure, try. If you try to do something, I tried to climb up the wall. I made an effort. Can't help. You remember that? Can't help. Exactly, yes. Can't help means not able to control your behavior. I can't stop laughing, for example. I can't control my behavior of laughing. The last one and the last one in this exercise is drive somebody up the wall. Drive somebody up the wall. And the meaning of this is to annoy somebody. If you annoy somebody, you are driving them up the wall. Exercise D, which is some kind of discussion. Of course, we cannot make a discussion through this video, but you can think about it. Has anything embarrassing ever happened to you? Yes, you can think of something embarrassing which happened to you within your family or with your friends or whatever. Let's move to the last section of today's lesson, which is vocabulary, phrases, expressions with most and least. Most and least. Read the sentences below and match the expressions and the phrases in bold with their meanings A to H. We have 8 expressions, 8 important expressions, and you have to match them with their meanings here, A to H. All the expressions has the word most or the word least. And as you know, most and least give you the opposite meaning sometimes. I thought the book would be nice, but it wasn't in the least interesting. It wasn't at all interesting. In the least means at all. It wasn't interesting at all. Number 2, children should drink at least 2 glasses of milk per day. Children should drink at least. At least means less. Of course, no. Not less than. Excellent. Yes, that's it. Not less than. At least. على الأقل. I want to thank my friends Ali, Saif, Amir, but last but not least, Hamza, for all their support. You can guess the meaning even in Arabic here. I want to thank my friends Ali, Saif, Amir, and last but not least, Hamza, for their effort. Last but not least. Yes, think of the correct meaning here. The meaning, of course, is that all of them are of the same importance. Ali, Saif, Samir, Hamza also means as important as the rest. Nobody believed his story, least of all the police. Least of all. Nobody believed the story or his story. Least of all the police. This is C, which means especially not. Especially not the police. They did not believe his story. It's an awful restaurant. The food is tasteless, to say the least. That means it's the least thing I can say about the restaurant is that the food is tasteless. To say the least. To say the least means, exactly. Not to say everything, but you could say at least this. To say the least. I plan to make the most of my holiday and spend my time relaxing. I plan to make the rest of my holiday. Of course, you are enjoying a long staycation now. It's not a holiday, it's a staycation. But you have to make the most of it. You know when somebody says, make the most of your holiday or staycation, enjoy it to get the maximum advantage of it. تفلها. We will stay in Dubai for 10 days at most. We will stay in Dubai for 10 days at most. At most means not more than. And of course you have to relate it to the expression at least. At least means not less than, and at most means not more than. So at most, or in Arabic على الأكثر, means not more than. The last one is the thing I liked most of all about the book was the second chapter. The thing I liked most of all about the book was the second chapter. Most of all. Right. Most of all means more than anything else. Thank you, my dear students. That's all for today's lesson. I wish you enjoyed it, and wait for me in another lesson soon. Thank you very much and goodbye. Enjoy your time.